Occidental is very rich and abundant in terms of natural resources. We have beaches, we have great food, we have very sweet people. That's why we are called the land of sweet surprises. I believe asking someone to go out for a date is regardless of gender. It doesn't define you. And who invented that it should be a man who should ask you out for a date? I believe that now we're in 2021 and we should be more open into changes. The pandemic is indeed very challenging to everyone. It's a tough time and we all have been through different kind of hardships. And me personally, I believe the feeling of being isolated and not being able to like know the uncertainties that's coming our way, I think that is the most challenging part.
Is my husband by that time already. I think I would take into considerations, and if he's my husband, I'm sure he loves me and he would try to listen to me. So maybe we could talk about it again and maybe I'd be able to convince again. Love should win. I would love to try each and everything, or maybe travel the entire country, because I've only been to 48 countries and there's still so many countries that I want to visit. And I know that's outrageous, but I would want to do that country hopping so much. It challenged me so much because I used to be the outgoing person. I love traveling so much and be with people. I'm very clingy, so hugging is like part of my everyday life. And now you have to put extra barrier when you're facing everybody. So it's kind of difficult, but yeah, hanging in.
Actually, I want to visit Cabanatuan City, where I am right now. I want to go to the street kids of Cabanatuan City because I've celebrated so many occasions with them. And right now, as Miss Universe candidate, I want to celebrate with them. The disadvantages of having this technology is when we don't use it wisely. This technology are here for us to benefit. But if we use it to spread negativity and hate, that's the most negative thing to use such amazing technology. This pandemic was really challenging. My family lost our business, and also I lost my grandfather during these very trying times. And it's really remembering that it is important to love, to listen, to care, to respect, and most especially to help others.
My greatest fear would be losing someone I love. I believe that it's our fear. It's one of the fears of a lot of people, and we can't really be prepared for it. But I know that together with dealing with meeting them and trying to have memories with them, the legacy that I would like to live in this world is to be an inspiration to everyone. I would like to be remembered as someone who is helping other people and someone who is an inspiration to a lot of people. Well, being the breadwinner of the family, this pandemic, the most challenging part for me is earning for the family and sending my sister to school. Right now, I was actually a flight attendant that turned into having an online business, which selling danggits for a living. So I think that resiliency leads us. This is the major takeaway in this pandemic, and I believe that together we can survive everything.
Well, back in my days po, that I call my big pageants here in our province, I used to end up always being the first runner-up. I don't know why. Well, that made me feel like a second option. And I think that's something that I want to change in my past. But I realized, right, as in now, that who would have thought that the first runner-up would actually be the representative of Oriental Mindoro in the Miss Universe Philippines? Like, wow. Well, I would rather be the president because I am a woman with my own decisions. And I know that as a woman, we have that kind of leadership in us. We have that decision-making that we want to say to other people. And I think that with my leadership that I have, I can be the good president to our beautiful Philippines. Well, with all of the saddest thing that we have experienced for the past years, I know that we are all surprised. Well, the pandemic challenged me in a way that how to adjust, but it also helped me to be flexible with all of the things that we are experiencing. And I think that we should just focus on the things that we are experiencing right now, because we are living in the pandemic. We should accept it and be flexible.
Honestly, my greatest disappointment in life is regret. There have been a lot of things in the past which I hope I tried, but I didn't have the confidence to. And so joining this pageant is actually a huge thing for me. I wanted to make the most out of the life that I have been given, and I want to achieve my dream. I believe the mechanics will always depend on what the pageant is. But personally, I have nothing against including the swimsuit competition in a beauty pageant. If I could wear a swimsuit when I go to the beach, then why not wear it in a competition? Pandemic has challenged me in a lot of ways, whether it be through my mental and emotional and in the way I see things. But if there's one thing that I would take away from this situation is that I should always keep in mind what my priorities in life are, and that is to love the people that I care about and to take care of myself and other people as well.
A quality that sets apart women from men is their heart, because psychologically speaking, we are very sensitive, and I think in that way we could connect to more people. We could reach across places that we need to visit and recognize. The act of kindness that I was able to do the past week was just to talk to people. I am a communications student, and I was able to reach out to the students, to my loved ones, to communicate with me, and in that way we bonded and we made a stronger foundation in our friendship and love. It challenged me very much. Maintaining a positive outlook during this pandemic is such a challenge, but however, I found time to rise above, and it somehow showed that I am a phenomenal woman.
The best gift that I gave to someone is a gift that I gave to my mom. I gave her a smile on her face, because when I started my journey here in the Miss Universe Philippines stage, she was the one who pushed me to try. And when I see her, as I reach the top 50, she's very happy, and that smile on her face makes me overwhelmed. The Filipina that I admire the most right now is Pia Wurtzbach, because she's really an epitome of inspiration to other women. She always tried her best and did her journey in the Miss Universe stage, and that is something inspiring because she gave her best. She proves that she can, and I want to be just like her. During the pandemic, I was really, really sad because everything was put in pause. And what I've learned about this is that I have to live this and value the balance between work and at the same time self-care, because we are in a pandemic. I have to progress without becoming an empty cup. And by doing that, I have to learn to allot time for me to work and to grind and also to relax. Because at the end of the day,
my best friend would definitely describe me, I believed, and I know that she'll describe me as a talkative person, because I always wanted to talk with people, because I believe that talking to someone really helps them, especially in this time of pandemic where everyone seems to be in chaos. Everybody needs someone to talk to, and everybody needs to have a friend. You know what? Social media is a very powerful tool in this time where everything is done online and everyone has the right to speak their minds. But for the parents, I would totally say and tell them that we should teach our children to think before we click or even before we speak. Because social media is a powerful tool. It might uplift someone, but it can also destroy a person. At this time of pandemic, everyone is affected. You know, the minorities, maybe our drivers, our commuters, our low income. But for me, pandemic really affected me in terms of my studies, because I had the chance to go online classes, and it's really, really hard. But I'm looking forward in the positive side of it. Because of the pandemic, I was able to take care of my grandmother until she passed away.
Important life lesson that I have learned in a very hard way is to be a hardworking person because I experienced poverty in my life ever since I was a child. And it was very hard for me because I experienced hunger as well. And that is very hard for a child to experience that. I would say to them that I understand that it's very hard, especially in this time of pandemic, but we should not lose hope in our country because the people are the one that can make our country for the betterment of our future. So don't leave because you are the hope of our future. I lost my job. I got retrenched from my company, and it was very hard for me because I am the provider of my family. But I never lose hope. I was able to find a job and support my family in this time of pandemic.
I were given another life, I think I would still want to live the life that I have right now, because everything that I have experienced in this lifetime made the woman who I am today. I know there's so much improvements yet to be done, but I am just so proud of how I have become and how I've learned and grew from those lessons. There are two qualities that I'd like to look for in a public servant. First, is a public servant who knows how to listen to the pains and suffering of his people. Second is a public servant who knows how to depend on data. When creating decisions, it is important that this is data-driven so that any solutions that will be used to address the problems are truthful and factual. You know, the pandemic has challenged me a lot. It taught me how life can change in an instant. And before the pandemic, I've always loved the little things in life. And when the pandemic had hit, it made me realize to be more appreciative of those things. And while we live, we should be able to truly live our life to the fullest because anything can happen.
Given the power to change something, I believe I would not change anything. Because with all the experience that I've learned all throughout my life, I gained something from it. I realize and realize and do something about it. And I feel like I don't need to change anything because I learned a lot from it and it makes me who I am today. I personally feel like we don't need to choose between the two because food and education are both important in our daily lives. So I feel like having that enough food for ourselves, it gives us enough energy to really study for our education in our future. You know what? I am a COVID survivor and it really changed my perspective in life. My mom also got COVID and it's really hard because she's already a senior and I feel like I cannot live with my mother. So this pandemic really made me realize how life is important and how family is important to everybody. And we should take care and do not take advantage of the time that we have with our families.